Yonatanist. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. You've sent me a couple of personal messages, and I don't even know how to pronounce your damn YouTube handle. Favorite music? I'm a heavy metal guy. And of course that translates very naturally to classical. A lot of stuff from Beethoven and Mozart can be played in heavy metal style very easily, especially Beethoven stuff. What is your least favorite music? Country. Though I understand the amount of musical talent and poetic talent it takes to write those songs, I'm not going to argue lack of talent for country artists. I can't stand it. Not even for the instrumentals. The vocals, usually, especially the male vocals, tend to be so whiny. So whiny. I think it's the reason I don't like a lot of pop stuff too, because the male vocals can tend to be so whiny. Just can't stand it. Oh, it's like nails on a chalkboard to me. And for people with a southern accent, usually, like the criticism they have of Yankee, the northern accents, is that the accent's nasally. But the singing of female country stars sounds terribly nasally to me. It's like instead of, coming from down here, coming from the lungs, it sounds like it's all stuck in here. Oh, God. Ugh, makes my nose hurt just thinking about it. Have you traveled around the world? And where have been your favorite places? No, I don't have the financial freedom to do as much traveling as I'd like. I have, the farthest I've been from home has actually been Vancouver. We went skiing at Whistler once. That's a ski resort in the British Columbia mountains. I liked it. Vancouver's a nice place, yeah. That's the farthest I've ever been. I'd like you to discuss the tesseract, or hypercube, four-dimensional object, and how we can understand it. What is 4D, and why are we trapped in only 3D space? Well, technically we are observing 4 dimensions. One of them is time, the other 3 dimensions are space. And why stop at 4 dimensions? I think in string theory it's proposed that we actually have 10 or 11 dimensions. But the other, besides the 4 that we can detect, the others are just so tiny and minute that we can't detect them, that they're imperceivable to our senses. Having the upper dimensions, though, would help explain, if it's useful anyway, would help explain the multiple paths that electron takes, the weird phenomena that we can see in quantum mechanics that is very, counterintuitive given what we understand of four-dimensional space. And, of course, the universe itself is expanding within another spatial dimension, which is, you can't kind of wrap your head around it. It's one of those things that you can only express mathematically and not understand it in the same way that we can understand throwing a ball or driving a car. So if it's just BS, it's BS. But if it's actually useful and it helps to explain some of the phenomena that we witness, then fantastic. But as far as practical things, we need only concern ourselves with the dimensions we can actually perceive with our senses. Phaxus, Phaexus, Phaxus. If bad people don't feel that guns are everywhere, the pressure for them to have guns when they are doing their bad things will be lower, right? No. It's always advantageous for somebody who's using violence and perceived power to have people do what they want them to have better arms, to have the bigger stick. So even bank robbers, right, who know full well that the customers and the tellers are not armed, they come in armed anyway. Why? It's because in that situation they have the bigger stick and the people will be subservient to them and do what they want. Then he talks about something. I said, did I say no gun control? Let me clarify that. I don't want excessive gun control. I don't want individual people to have the same artillery as the military, like tanks and stuff, right? But and I don't want for children and convicted felons and the mentally disabled to be able to possess weapons when they don't have faculties to use them. Just like driving a car where you have to take a test to make sure that you can manage this piece of equipment properly, you should have a similar process for owning a weapon. But besides that, I don't see a good reason for the government to tell individuals to not have weapons. And hell, the bad guys, right? Even if there's laws against having weapons, the bad guys are going to find a way to get them anyway. If they exist, they will find a way to get them. New experiment. Do you feel a sense of majesty when you think about the fact that the universe happens to be made up of a set of rules which alone will create life and even intelligence probably throughout the universe? Majesty? I'm not sure if majesty is the right word. Every time I hear majesty, I think of monarchy or something of that nature. I'll use the term awe, though. It's one of those things, like, as soon as you wrap your head around it, like, the universe is this fantastically huge place that's constantly expanding, and it's got all these rules that controls how the objects move in it, and we're just on this little tiny blue dot in the middle of this huge thing, right? Just a little ignored little speck of nothing in the vastness. That's us. And we, a composition of chemicals, are sitting here thinking about it. That is, as soon as you get that in your head, it's like, whoa. It's one of those whoa moments. Like, majesty, I don't know. I think that's awe, right? Whoa. That's awe. Yeah, I get that. Which is closer to your opinion? Since, for all we know, there are countless dead universes, a multiverse theory, right, where the laws do not allow life, special is being applied after the fact, or who said producing intelligence is really all that special? Producing intelligence might, well, it's special because we say it's special, right? If there weren't any minds to consider something special, it wouldn't actually be special, right? So it's kind of begging the question, right? We defined it to be special because we feel that way. But I get what you're saying, that maybe intelligence isn't such a big deal after all. Yeah, I'm there. Intelligence isn't such a big deal. The universe doesn't care whether we comprehend it or not, type of thing. We say that it's special. So it's special to us because we say it is, which is fine. You don't really need to think about it past that point. It's impractical, and you're not getting anywhere because, as far as we know, we're the only ones who care. But I think you're probably right in that the universe is such a fantastically large place that not only life, but intelligent life is prevalent throughout, right? Even if the chances of intelligent life involving on a planet is like 1 in 40,000, which I think is the number given in Star Trek. 1 in 40,000 life-supporting planets develop intelligent life, right? That's still billions of planets with intelligent life on it. I mean, billions of billions, right? The universe is just such a vastly huge place that it's hard to consider ourselves special. No, nope. Mundane is fine. Mundane is fine.